Hello, I'm so glad you're riding with me today. I've really been wanting to talk to you about paperwork and finishing the process. What I'm talking about today is the fact that the majority of sidetracked home executives, or those of us with messy homes, have a paper problem. And it all comes from the mail. It's crazy. 98% of the paper in your cluttered areas is trash. And even if it's things that need to be handled or filed, it's lost in that pile, and you've probably missed some deadlines. You'll know that by the kind of telephone calls you start receiving or new mail you start getting. So what I'd like you to do immediately is change your life today. I want you to take your mail, when you get it out of your mailbox, and immediately separate it into 3 areas. Trash, requires action, file. 3 areas. So when you get in the house, the trash goes in the trash or shred bin. The papers that require action go in a handle bin or a handle file. And then that needs to be filed, it goes into a to be filed file. We're not going to handle it right this minute, and we're not going to file it right this minute, but we're going to work on that on our desk day once a week. But we're just going to put it in a good location instead of the whole mess goes on the countertop with all the other paper, and now it's a big giant mess. It's almost like throwing clean clothes on a dirty clothes pile. Everything gets ruined. So today, when you get the mail, or if your husband gets the mail, or if your child gets the mail, design a place for it to go. So let's just say, from now on, honey, please put the mail in this basket right here on this countertop. And then you do the work on the paper. As soon as you see it, go through it. Handle, file, trash or shred. And separate it and get rid of the trash immediately. I want you to know that your mind works in nanoseconds. It doesn't take a long time to process anything. It takes nanoseconds. So if you can imagine, we're going to go through your existing pile of papers. I'd like you to, first of all, stack them as neatly as you can. Don't be a perfectionist, just make some stacks. And then take about this much of a stack, set your timer for 15 minutes, and start going through that paper and separating it into 3 groups. Trash or shred, to be handled or action required, and to file. You won't have very many things to file. Think about the things you really need to file. Tax papers and important documents like passports, birth certificates, car titles. It's not a lot. You're not going to get a lot of that in the mail, but you will from time to time. But in general, most of it's going to be either handle, which means you need to pay a bill or call a teacher or make an appointment, or it's going to be trash. But anyway, separate it into 3 stacks. Get rid of the trash immediately. Either go shred it or throw it away, and put it in your handle or action file at your desk, the place where you're going to process your papers every week, and then make an empty file for to be filed papers. Now, I want you to know that if you've been going to the doctor, insurance companies are going to send you just bajillions of papers. Just keep the ones that talk about how much they're going to pay, or if you need to save it for taxes. Other than that, if you don't need it for taxes and it's already been paid and your doctor's already said it's paid, why do you need to keep it? Get rid of it. And then when you have gone through that, you're going to find that you have so much less paperwork. Also, the IRS does not require you to keep 7 years of taxes anymore. It's just 3 years. So not including this year. So in this example, this is 2016. You have 15, 14, and 13. So anything from 2012 and back needs to go. Also, some other things that I've seen in some of my FlyBabies files are things like files on their dead animals. You know, the doctor files. You know how you keep things on your animals. Those things can go. Think about it and get rid of those things that are taking up valuable space and causing you angst. So get rid of it. But the most important thing is to go through your mail every day actually, and then every week file it or handle it. So let's think about the paperwork that's in your house and how overwhelming that is. You're going to imagine that if you left just imagine all the paperwork in your house gathered into one spot. And then let's just pretend that you left your home for a year and no one came in that room and touched that paper. When you come back after a year, how much paper is going to be there? Nope, it's not going to grow. It's going to stay exactly the same because you're not adding to it. And I know that's a very simplistic example, but I want you to realize that the reason it grows is because you keep adding to it. So it's critical that you start handling your mail and paper that comes into your house every day and get rid of the trash. Now, the mail is not the only paper. Children bring home artwork and papers and things like that. So what you'll need to do is devise some sort of a file system to keep their papers for the week and then go through and pick out the important things. And you can't save, you can save every paper if you have a lot of room and that's what you want to do. It's your home. However, just realize that it doesn't stop, and the more children you have, the more paper you have. So there's loads of creative ideas out there of what you can do. You can save a sampling. You can save it up for the year and then pick out what you want. You can take pictures of it. You can create a string in your child's room on the wall with clips and clip the paperwork for them to enjoy. But it's important that you get rid of it after a while because otherwise it'll take over your home. There's other forms of paper too. There's newspapers, there's magazines. So every week it's important that you go through and get rid of those things. All right, so I want to talk about the emotional attachment to your things. So when you go through it, don't hem and haw over that paperwork. You have got hundreds, maybe thousands of pieces of paper. If you take 2 or 3 seconds a sheet, it won't take you long to get rid of it. But if you take 2 or 3 minutes a sheet, or 2 or 3 hours, or 2 or 3 days a sheet, it will take a very, very long time to get rid of it. And again, 98% of it is garbage. It's trash. So imagine that if you left it alone, it won't grow. And that if it's not growing and you're taking away from it in 15-minute increments of stacks about that big, it's not going to take very long to get rid of it. So that's how you do it. That's how you get rid of it. You work on it in 15-minute increments, set your timer, put on some music, get your head on straight, and get to work on your paper. And don't add to it, okay? So that's what my advice is for today. And that's completing the mail process every day, completing the paper process every day. All right, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.